Okay, so to my everlasting shame, or pride, probably pride, I have never seen the 2003 Hulk movie that Ang Lee directed. You know, the one that everybody hates. So I don't think I'm ever gonna watch that movie ever in my life. This Hulk movie's pretty good though. The Incredible Hulk. So The Incredible Hulk is the second movie in what would eventually become the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And this movie came out like a month after the first Iron Man. It came out in June 2008. So in this movie we have Bruce Banner, played here by Edward Norton. He's a scientist working on something for the military. He thinks he can recreate the super soldier serum that they used in World War II using gamma radiation. And so he tests it on himself, and as it turns out, the experiment went completely wrong. He turned into an enormous green monster. He accidentally killed a couple of people, and so now he's a fugitive from the US military. And I think this is the most underrated movie of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I know some people who like this movie, and I know some people who hate this movie. This is Marvel's take of the monster movie genre. I mean, the Hulk's been around since the 60s. He was popularized in the 70s TV show with Bill Bixby, and so Universal got the rights to the Hulk, and if Universal is good at anything, they are good at monster movies. The classic black and white monster movies that my dad grew up with. So now we have the Hulk. Bruce Banner is dealing with this Hulk monster that he becomes while hiding from the US military. He's in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, and Edward Norton was really good as a character, and I'm pretty sure he was cast in this movie because of that one other movie he was in that I'm not allowed to talk about. He's played a man with two separate personalities before, so he can do it again. And as far as the role of Bruce Banner goes, I'm actually not sure if I like him more than Mark Ruffalo. I'd say I like them pretty equally. I do kind of wish that Edward Norton kept the role just for continuity's sake, but Mark Ruffalo is really good. The case is, Mark Ruffalo has been in more movies as Bruce Banner, but Edward Norton played him first. In any case, he was really good in this movie. And Liv Tyler plays Betty Ross, his girlfriend in this movie. The only other role I know her for is Arwen in Lord of the Rings. What I don't get is why she always whispers in the movie. Like, she talks like this. I don't know why. She didn't whisper that much in Lord of the Rings. Her father, General Ross, is played by William Hurt, and he is awesome in this movie. The only thing he cares about in this entire movie is getting Bruce Banner. He is all about that. And William Hurt just did it really well. I'm really glad he's gonna be in Civil War. And lastly, we have Tim Roth as Emil Blonsky. And I'm still not really sure what this character's deal is. He's just a power-hungry, angry dude. He joins the military in the manhunt for Bruce Banner, and when he first sees the Hulk for the first time, he's like, whoa, this is awesome, I want that. Why anyone would want to become a big monster like that? I don't know. Tim Roth was good, but his character just wasn't given that much dimension, that's all. Now, the action scenes in this movie are really, really cool. There's essentially 3 of them in the entire movie, but between these action scenes, I can see how one would get bored, but I personally found the characters really interesting, so I wasn't. Because Bruce Banner's initial mindset is that he doesn't want to use this Hulk for anything at all. He wants to get rid of it. He doesn't want anything to do with it. And Betty Ross wants to help him, but she's the daughter of the general who wants to get him. So there's an interesting father-daughter dynamic in there, and that was done pretty well too. And so far, this is the only movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that has gross moments that I had to shield my eyes from. The scene where Emil Blonsky first gets some of the super soldier serum in his body, they're putting these giant needles in his back. I'm like, no, not for me. However, then we get the big action scene in Culver University in Virginia. I think that's a fictional university, I'm not sure. Where the Hulk is in this big open field and he's running around and he's just beating the shit out of these military Humvees and tanks. And Emil Blonsky's in there running around trying to keep up with the Hulk. He's shooting him and shit. Of course, in the end, he gets his balls kicked in. He had every bone in his body crushed. How do you survive that? He had the super soldier serum in him, that's how. But because he's a power hungry asshole, he wants even more of the super soldier serum, and so he gets some more, and now he becomes the Abomination, who is a classic Hulk villain from the comics. And when Hulk is fighting the Abomination at the end of this movie, it's awesome. Now some people may say, oh, it just looks fake because it's all CG and it's all fake and But come on, it's 2008, what were you expecting? Some guy painted green and shit? Of course it's gonna be CG. And motion capture technology wasn't used that much back in 2008. Motion capture didn't really come into mainstream until 2009 with Avatar. So yeah, we have CG Hulk versus CG Abomination, but the fight is really cool. I remember cheering in the audience when Hulk was like, Hulk smash! I'm kind of sad that he hasn't said that since, but it was awesome. Now, this being a Marvel movie, there's actually not a post-credits scene, but there's a little stinger at the end. You do see Tony Stark himself walk up to the general and start talking about, oh, we're putting a team together. And because everyone had seen Iron Man when it came out, people knew who Tony Stark was. And that was the first time we were like, oh shit, these characters are in the same universe? Yep, you better believe it. Now, the music in this film was composed by Craig Armstrong, and it's really good. It actually sounds like a really cool monster movie soundtrack, just boom, boom. A lot of low strings, a lot of strings in general, and it really worked to capture the character of Bruce Banner. Now, the unfortunate thing about this movie is that as far as the MCU goes, you don't really need to watch this movie anymore. It's kind of irrelevant now, since Bruce Banner is kind of in the same place at the beginning of the Avengers. But The Incredible Hulk is still a good movie that's fun to watch. It had good acting, great characters, awesome action scenes. What more can you ask from a Marvel movie? So The Incredible Hulk, have you seen it? Have you watched it recently? How does it rank among all the Marvel movies for you? Whatever you think, go ahead and leave a comment. And don't forget to subscribe.